Hi, my name's Becky, and this is my story of how I became a Christian. So I wasn't brought up in a Christian household. I think till I was about 16 or 17, I didn't really know what it meant to be a Christian. I didn't really know what the really meaning of this character of Jesus was, other than in nativities and school plays. And really, my life was quite fulfilled. I was quite happy. I didn't really feel a need of a saviour, as Christians often say. I didn't really feel that I was a spiritual hole that I needed to fill. But I think all things sort of changed when I was 17 and I went on the summer camp to Estonia. And it was a Christian summer camp, so everyone else there was Christian, and there was like Bible studies and memory verses with the kids, and we were telling them about how important Jesus is. I think all this time I was kind of listening about what they were actually saying about Jesus, and I started to realise who he actually was and what he did and what the cross meant. I think it wasn't until then that we actually knew the meaning of sin and the meaning of how we needed a saviour. I think all of this was sort of new to me. I think this week was quite full on, but I think all the time I was kind of thinking, God, if you're real, show yourself. I think I was asking God for a sign a lot, and then when he didn't immediately deliver me a miracle, I think I started to doubt again. But I think I came back off this camp and I thought, wow, there's something in these Christians which is so different to everyone else I've met, and there is some truth, I think, in how their lives have been transformed, how they've been changed. And I think then I started to compare myself, thinking if I was ever to become a Christian, well, I've got to change a lot. And there's so many sacrifices I need to make, and there's so many changes in just my attitudes, and it felt like such a big task that I just felt like, right now I just can't do it, God. If you're real, I'm just going to have to wait, because there's so much going on right now, and I'm so far from a perfect Christian that I'll just leave it, and I'll just wait until I'm ready. But then I think that was in the summer. And then that winter, I did an Alpha course at my church back home in Nottingham, and sort of like an 8 or 9 week course, sort of explaining the key things of the gospel, the key messages of Christianity. And it wasn't until then I really realised that the core of Christianity isn't if we're good enough for Christ, if we're good enough for Jesus and the sacrifices we need to make. It's the sacrifice that he made for us, and that then nothing else really matters, and it sort of just falls into place. I think the biggest thing I needed to do was just say, to surrender, just be like, okay, this is sort of like not in my power can I do this, but I'll do it in yours. So I think there were still some struggles and still some battles, and just things like with my friends, I wasn't really something they got. My non-Christian boyfriend, it wasn't something that he really wanted to accept. With my family, my parents, they thought it was really odd. So these were struggles that they didn't go away. I mean, there was some big sacrifices, and they felt big at the time, and still now, things aren't easy. But I think also there was times where I doubted, God, is this really worth it? Are you really there? I've made these sacrifices, and sometimes it feels like you didn't show up. But it's only now that months later, almost a year later, that I can see God's really been working in my life, and that he's really transformed me. And now the sacrifices that I made seem completely worthwhile, and God and Jesus is so much bigger than anything that I had going on in my life, and that now I don't put me at the centre of my life, but I try to put what Jesus did, and try to put him as an example at the centre of my life. And it's really exciting to see so much change happen in me, and see God prepare so many good things, and honestly I don't need to worry about things anymore. God's there, he's answering my prayers, and it's really exciting. But anyway, that's how I became a Christian. You should see for yourself.